Oh, happy Flag Day 2021. So hopefully we'll be reopening this 4th of July. That's the plan where I live in Seattle, Washington. I think that's the plan for the rest of the country as well. I want to mention that when we first tried to reopen back in September, I got a little bit of a sticker shock. I'm a professor and I do private tutoring as well. And back in September, we went into phase 2 of the COVID-19 lockdowns, and we didn't think we were ever going to go back to phase 1. But obviously times have changed. But my biggest shocker, I'll let you pause the video to think about what happened during the reopening that kind of shocked you, right? My biggest shock was I was doing private tutoring and I went to one of my students' homes, and I realized, God, you know what takes an hour now takes more like 2 or 3 hours, and plus the expenses of driving to his home. And when I was working remotely, even if I wasn't making a whole lot of money, the money that I did get, minus the taxes, that ended up all in my pocket. When I had to work in person, didn't feel that way anymore, especially because of all the extra time it took. It's just a huge shocker. And it was a silver lining when we went back to phase 1 in, I think it was November. I remember thinking, oh yes, I get a raise again. I remember thinking of it almost like a giant raise. That's how much of a difference it was, because it took up so much more time. And plus, it limited a lot of flexibility, right? If I have a student at 3 o'clock, I could literally have activities buzzing at 2:50, right? As long as I have an internet connection where I am, I could literally run an errand at 2:50 as long as I have internet connection where I'm going. And it was going back to lockdown was like the equivalent of a major raise, even if I lost a few of those students, right? Now, last year, you got to remember there was a time when it felt like people were dying left, right, and center. And I had this big fear that I would die and leave behind unfinished research that I was working on in machine learning. And so I submitted 4 papers for publication. I didn't expect all of them to be accepted. For the most part, I just wanted word to be out there that this is where the direction of the research is going. I didn't expect all 4 papers to be accepted, but all 4 of them were accepted because I put so much energy into it. I was so afraid of leaving all that work behind. I distinctly remember one night, I had been working until very late, and 2 of the deadlines were that night, and I hit the submit button. As soon as I clicked that button, a huge wave of relief just washed over me, almost like I had finished writing my will, or you get the idea, right? Unfinished business at the end of your life, basically. This was back in May of 2020. People were dying left, right, and center at the time, especially back in Seattle. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona right now, by the way. Okay, I submitted 2 papers in May, and then there was another conference. The deadline was in July. Huge wave of relief wash over me as soon as I hit that submit button. I've become very addicted to hitting submit buttons of all sorts, right? When I was submitting my taxes, when you get the idea. I just don't know if I'll ever see tomorrow. It's been feeling that way for almost 2 years now, and not only do I worry if I'll see tomorrow, I'll worry if we'll have the same world to live in tomorrow, right? With reopenings, new lockdowns, vaccine requirements and all that. It just feels like we can never be guaranteed another day like today. It's felt like that since the beginning of the pandemic, basically. Now, I learned that all 4 papers got accepted, which is good, but I wasn't expecting all of them to get accepted, especially with all the entrance fees, and it was a little bit of a sticker shock. It was a pleasant one. It was still a sticker shock. And then the reason I'm recording this video is that we're thinking about going back to the Computer Olympiad in person, and that's going to be a big sticker shock for me. I've come to we've done 2 of them remotely now. I've come to rely on doing them online, and I'm having this money to invest in my own infrastructure, right? My social networking. and I also enjoy having that extra vacation time to learn more about the world, right? Come out here to Phoenix, Arizona. I mean, the Computer Olympiad's usually held somewhere nice. I mean, it's not like we go to the third world to do it, but it's usually somewhere unremarkable, right? Like Taiwan, like Amsterdam. Not somewhere where I would go there and make long-term important connections in my life. Anyway, what sticker shock has the COVID-19 reopening brought to you?